George Santos, or whatever alias you prefer for George Santos, is also now on the Small Business and Science Committees. For some reason, I mean, why shouldn't he be on the Small Business Committee? He's worked for small businesses, he's owned small businesses, he's been a small business for all I know. Maybe he was an Orange Julius when he was younger. God only knows what he's going to claim now. Bear in mind, as if this is supposed to make it any better, neither of those two committees are seen as plum seats for lawmakers. Now that again is supposed to make us feel a little bit better. Can we just stop though and say, isn't it a little bit messed up that the small business and science committees aren't considered important? Maybe they should be. Maybe being on the science committee should matter. The fact that it doesn't is not an indictment of George Santos, it's an indictment of our government. But anyway, he wanted to be on the House Financial Services and Foreign Affairs committees, bearing in mind that his entire past on Wall Street was made up, and he is currently alleged to be fleeing an international crime that he committed. So I guess I understand why he'd want to be on those places. I don't think that he necessarily deserves it, although he did ask for it. And think about the balls on this guy. By the time we have a speaker and committee assignments can be made up, we already know about the million lies he's told about literally everything involving his mom dying on 9/11 and the Holocaust, and we're gonna get to more. And he's like, hey, I'd like the best committee spots ever.
They all do, don't they? And also,
anyway, really fast, Jared, though, just because I want to be fair and I want to provide balance. I'm being critical of him. There were some who greeted his new positions as a good thing. So former astronaut Scott Kelly tweeted, awesome to have former NASA astronaut and moonwalker George Santos on the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee to infinity and beyond. I like that. Sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. I love that because some people need to point out how cartoonish this is, and I think that encapsulates it perfectly. So no, his qualifications on the Small Business Committee, he's run several, right, John? Run a few into scams, made sure he's stolen money from folks. I think he knows how small business works. I'm glad you pointed this thing out about it because, again, we're supposed to feel better because there's a small, not plum, what do they call it? A plum type of committee assignment. How much do politicians in general, it's not just conservatives, talk about how important it is to represent the small business leaders, small business owners in our country? They're the lifeblood of our economy. They're the real people who provide jobs. We support them, things go forward. Why is this not a very important committee assignment? And if it is, which I guess they say so in political terms, why is George Anthony Santos Duvalder on it?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It's really perfect. I mean, they lie about caring about small business when they're really only interested in the largest corporations. So why not put the biggest liar in DC on the small business thing? And honestly, they love putting him on the science committee. It sends a signal to the Republican base that we think science is a joke. We don't care. We're putting a liar and a fraud on there, and they will eat that up. They will love that. Again, like we point out that it obviously reflects incredibly poorly on the Republican Party that they would allow a person like this to be a member in good standing, because we think it matters. But bear in mind, it's not like they are super worried about how this reflects on them. They don't want Americans to believe that any of this matters or any of it is deserving of any respect or consideration. They want everyone to approach the government as a complete joke so that they'll stop expecting things of it. Because they want everything to just be owning the libs and culture wars, and you'll forget about anything actually getting done. George Santos is an important step in the path to that future.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.